Hello and welcome to Tea Break Film Reviews. My name's Michelle and today I'm going to be counting down 10 facts that you didn't know about Dune. Some of them are pretty bizarre, but none of them will be spoilers. Before we start, please consider subscribing to help support this channel so we can keep making videos like this. Number 10. The sand dunes are real. One of the inspirations for the dystopian landscape of Dune can be visited along the coast of the American state of Oregon. When writing his book, Frank Herbert was fascinated by this ecological menace that was drowning forests in sand, filling harbors and destroying lakes. He even visited and took notes for a piece of writing called "They Stopped the Moving Sands," but his agent never sent it to publishers. Number 9. Magic mushrooms helped create the world. During his research, Frank Herbert consulted legendary mycologist, a person who studies the science of fungi, Paul Stamets. In Stamets' book Mycelium Running, he wrote that Herbert confessed that most of Dune's premise is based on the fungal life cycle, which he had imaginatively interpreted under the influence of magic mushrooms. Number 8. 3 Bond villains have played Stilgar. The character of Stilgar was played by Everett McGill in the 1984 film adaptation of Dune, by Steven Berkoff in the 2003 miniseries Children of Dune, and by Javier Bardem in the 2021 film adaptation. All 3 have previously played Bond villains in License to Kill, Octopussy, and Skyfall, respectively. Number 7. There was almost another Dune film. You may have heard about the 1984 film adaptation directed by David Lynch, but did you know that there was another film adaptation in the works? It was going to be directed by Alejandro Jodorowsky, who wanted Salvador Dali, Mick Jagger, and Orson Welles to star in it, accompanied by a soundtrack made by Pink Floyd with a runtime of over 10 hours. In a brilliant 2014 documentary called Jodorowsky's Dune, the director explained that his goal was to make his Dune recreate the experience of taking the drug LSD, but without the hallucinations. The project was eventually abandoned. Number 6. Arrakis exists in space. So, Herbert was inspired by the sand dunes in Oregon, but he in turn inspired planetary scientist Rosalie Lopez by the world he had created. She suggested naming the vast plains of Saturn's moon Titan after the planets in Dune, the descriptions of which eerily match the environment that the scientists had discovered on Titan in 2009. Number 5. Hans Zimmer turned down Tenet for Dune. Christopher Nolan and Hans Zimmer have been an unstoppable director-composer duo since Batman Begins, making 6 films together. But Zimmer had to turn down working on Nolan's newest film, Tenet, because Dune was one of his favorite books as a teenager. His cover of Pink Floyd's song Eclipse features on the soundtrack, which he composed as a little nod to the Jodorowsky film adaptation that was never made. Number 4. The book was almost never published. Frank Herbert and his skeptical agents were rejected by 23 publishers before they finally found Hilton Publishing, who are apparently crazy enough to publish this book. It has since sold over 20 million copies, one of which I have here, and has been translated into 12 different languages. I bet those publishers are regretting their decision now. Number 3. The spice in Dune is based on oil in Iraq. In 1927, major oil deposits were discovered in Iraq, and the refineries began extracting this oil, with the profits mainly going to companies in the US, Britain, France, and Holland. This monopoly and unfair exploitation of the land and its people was overthrown in 1958 when the Iraqi Petroleum Company was established. Influenced by these events, Herbert created a similar situation in his world with the commodity spice. He also modeled the planet of Arrakis on Iraq, and some of his character names were influenced by Arabic and Islamic words. Number 2. Hilton Publishing had never published a novel before. The book found a home in the unlikeliest of places. Hilton Publishing had been famous for its automotive manuals and trade magazines, and in its history it has only ever published 2 works of fiction, one of them being Dune, and the other another celebrated sci-fi novel by James H. Schmitz called The Witches of Correz. Number 1. There's also a board game. In 1979, Avalon Hill published a strategy board game based on Herbert's Dune universe. A second edition as well as 2 expansions were released to tie in with the 1984 film adaptation, and a recent reissue of the game was made to tie in with the 2021 film. It has reached tournament-level popularity, so you too can fight for that spice. There we have it, 10 facts you now know about Dune. Thank you for watching. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe and hit that bell icon if you want to see more videos, and comment with your thoughts on the topic. Will you be watching the new Dune? For more film content, feel free to follow us on Twitter, Letterboxd and Facebook. Links in the description. Otherwise, this has been Tea Break Film Reviews. My name's Michelle, and I hope you have a great day.